you from a hotel bathroom today. But I want to talk about cognitive outs, which I talk about a lot, because I think they're probably the most powerful tool, or one of the most powerful tools that our subconscious has to convince us of things, to get us to seemingly avoid discomfort, but oftentimes maybe make illogical decisions. And I've talked about cognitive outs a lot in a lot of different settings. I talked about apologies, or apologizing being maybe the greatest cognitive out, because it seemingly like frees us of responsibility. We think if we say we're sorry, then we don't actually have to do any hard work to fix anything. But I was talking to somebody today and started thinking about the truth. And if maybe the truth is actually the greatest cognitive out. And it came up in context of like victimhood. So, this potential risk we run sometimes where we fall into this victimhood trap, where something bad happens to us, or at least we perceive something bad happen, and we go to an extreme with it. And we become all consumed with it, and we act as if we have no control or agency. Now, obviously there are times where that is true, right? Where you truly are a victim and you do have no control. But this is more the instance where it's a perception of that. It's not actually real, right? The example that came up was, somebody else gets promoted at work ahead of you. And you think your boss hates you, or you think the company's out to get you, or whatever it might be. And let's assume that's not the case. It's just, you're doing a great job. They like you too. They just happen to promote this other person. And I say that, right? So why do I say that about truth being the greatest cognitive out? What came up in that conversation, what started to become clear, is that when it comes to something like victimhood, if there is a sliver of truth to it, let's take a situation where you actually are a victim in some way. Most situations, right? Where it's not binary, it's not clear, that you are or you aren't, but perhaps there's aspects of it in which somebody's mistreated you or done something wrong, but there's also aspects in which you have some control or agency. That truth to it, that part of it that's true becomes that powerful cognitive out. Because you can imagine if you don't want to change, you don't want to take control, you don't want to take responsibility, you don't want to do any of the hard work, how that sliver of truth, or however big it might be, gives you that cognitive out to say, no, see, I am a victim, right? Maybe your boss doesn't particularly like you, or maybe they said something rude to you at some point, right? Maybe there's some aspect of truth to it. And now all of a sudden you say, see, that's what it is. And for our subconscious, that's all it needs sometimes, is a sliver. It just needs a little bit. But how potent is it? How impactful is it when it doesn't have to create the narrative? When it doesn't have to trick us, seemingly? When it can use the truth as the cognitive out? How powerful that is for us. Because then we feel like, oh, perfect, like I'm totally justified to believe this. It's true, there's an aspect of it that's true. But it's complex. These things are, it's nuanced. It's not that simple. We can't sacrifice the truth for simplicity and just say because there's aspects of it that are true, that means it's all true. And I'm completely a victim. Again, assuming the situation is such where you actually do have some control and some ability to do something about it.